Alright, another quick under 5-minute video on elements of the kinetic energy theory. And the basic idea I'm arguing is that weight and energy and momentum and all these things, heat, are all the same thing. They all equal each other, and basically MV is weight. So when anything collides, it's a weight against a weight. And in that vein, conventional physics seems to argue, we can't really get a definitive answer from the professors, but the idea is that something dropped from 4 times the height takes twice as long in gravity to fall. It collects essentially 2 units of gravity. They don't really believe that, but anyway, ends up with twice the velocity, and does in fact end up with twice the weight. So if you measure its instantaneous weight on a spring, it will compress a spring twice as much. Now that they seem to agree with. But what they're saying is that a spring compressed twice as much contains 4 times the capacity to do work. So that it did in fact collect 4 units of energy or force in the case of gravity. So somehow, even though it's going only twice the velocity and only took twice the time, it did in fact collect 4 units of force for every unit of distance falling. And so it will compress the spring twice as much, but there'll be 4 in it. So in spite of the fact that it's only twice as much compression, it's really took 4 times the work to compress it twice as much. Now my simple counter argument is gravity gives you what you put into it. So whatever force you use to shoot something in gravity, you'll get exactly the same amount back. And all I'd have to do is do the same work in terms of lifting an object. I'd only have to do 2 units of work to create 2 objects falling on the spring, which will guarantee I'll double the compression. I'll weigh twice as much when they land, and then they'll say I have 4 times the capacity to do work that this had. So 2 units of work creating the experiment will produce 4 units of energy out. So it's basically free energy. 2 units of weight, 4 units of energy. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it can happen in this universe, and if it did happen, I think humans would already have exploited it. So something somewhere isn't working as they state. It doesn't take 4 times the energy to compress a spring twice as much, would be my argument. And the point is to find experiments that demonstrate that it takes 4 times the energy to compress a spring twice as much, or that we get 4 times the work out of a twice compressed spring. And but we'll only have velocity and mass to work with, essentially, and that's part of the problem. But just the simple argument that there has to be something wrong with their theory, because it is free energy. It would be the same work for me to lift something to this position, and that would only be 2 units of work, and I would get 4 units of stored capacity or weight. And I really can't be getting 4 units of weight. It's only twice the weight. So it really doesn't work. And that should be enough. So yeah, under 5 minutes.